This is part 2 where we are observing Mondrian's artwork for inspiration, and then we are making our print. This is the meat of our whole lesson. So step 1 is observing his artwork, getting that ready, and step 2 is just to gather all the supplies we will need to make our prints. We have our paint. So I took a little bit of paint and I just put it in a tray or a cup. Maybe have mom or dad help you with that. You don't need a whole lot actually. You don't need to fill up this whole thing, just a little bit at the bottom. You have your cardboard piece that you just made, and you have some thick white paper, and then your pictures of Mondrian's artwork pulled up on your computer. These are some examples of other ones that I made. I haven't added color to these yet, but I wanted to show you kind of different ways you could do it. In this piece, I decided to make a border around my artwork. So that is one thing that you could do. In this one, I didn't do any border, and I just made my lines go straight off my paper. In this one, I made my lines a little bit thicker. So they're a little bit thicker if you look at the lines in this one. This one's thicker, this one's thinner. And that's because I wanted it to look like this painting where I feel like the lines are wider. So that's what I was looking here. But if you look at all three of these, none of them necessarily look exactly like one of these paintings, and that's okay. Remember, we talked about it. Your print does not have to look exactly like a painting as long as it has your vertical, your horizontal lines, and then later when we add the color, you're fine. Okay, remember you are going to be making 2 prints. I'm just going to show you how to make 1, but you are going to be making 2. You have to make 2, but remember you can make more than 2. You can make 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever you want. Okay. Enough chatting, let's get to printing, and this is where all the magic happens. Okay, when I'm using my cardboard, I don't want to make it flat like this. I want to make it go down vertical like an elevator. I only want paint on the edge or the end of my cardboard. I don't want it on the flat spot. I want it on the end where you can see those little holes. That's where I want my paint because this is going to make a line. All right, I'm going to be kind of looking at this painting for some inspiration. Okay, I'm going to take my cardboard and putting it down like an elevator, not to its side, like an elevator straight up and down, like a vertical line. I'm going to dip it. Dip, dip, dip. Make sure I have enough. And then I have paint on the end of my cardboard. I want to print quickly so the paint doesn't dry. I see a vertical line going up here. So I'm going to take my cardboard and press it down on my paper. I don't want just one little short line. I want to make it go all the way to the top of my paper. So I'm going to keep printing, printing, and there we go. I have a line, and I love it because you can see some of the little holes coming through, and that comes from the holes in the cardboard. All right, this doesn't have enough paint on it anymore, so I have to dip it again in my paint. And now I want to make a horizontal line. I'm going to do this one, going across the entire paper. All right, so my paint is doing something. It's drying out. Because I'm using all the paint the more I print. When it dries out, don't just keep printing, get more paint on your cardboard. Okay, all right, I have a vertical line and a horizontal line, and already just with 2 lines, my artwork is looking like Mondrian's. I want to make one that goes vertical here. And notice when I'm printing that I'm not sliding my cardboard. If I slide my cardboard, I'll show you what it looks like. If I print it and slide it, oh no, it's going to look like that. And that's not a line. I want it to be a line. So try not to slide your cardboard when you are printing. Okay, let's go here. So you don't always have to go all the way left or right. You can start making your shapes inside your painting. So now, just by this line, I have a rectangle, right? Some are skinny, so I'm going to make a skinny rectangle and just split this one right here. And let's make a skinny one over here. Sometimes if you get too much paint in one area you can just dip your cardboard onto your artwork and use it somewhere else. All right, I am getting there. Now I like that this has a big red square. I want a big red square somewhere. So this is a rectangle, but to make it a square, I'm going to try to make sure my line goes about here. All right, now I have a big red square, or a big square that will be red. All right, I want some of my lines to be thick, like the lines in here. So I'm going to come over here again and just make this line double. All of a sudden, it's a lot thicker. Let's make this one thick too. Okay, and let's stop. Do this one. I like it. Okay, I'll probably do a few more. And once you get started, you guys, you're going to want to keep printing for so long. So you only have to make 2. But remember, if you love it a lot, you can keep making more. All right, you guys, I like this. I like that there's not too many lines, but my whole paper has lines everywhere. There's not one area that is completely white. It has a line crossing about everywhere. And no, it does not look exactly like one of these paintings by Mondrian, but I was inspired by it. So you would make 2 prints, and then what you would do is you want to find a safe place to kind of set this down, maybe like just on a table that doesn't get used a lot, and you want to let your prints dry. You do not want to start coloring until all of your prints are completely dry. It might take like an hour for it to dry. So you're going to have to print, pause, and then come back when you have time, when it's dry, to add color. Okay, guys, try to remember, see if there's anything else we need to talk about. And y'all, I think that's it for part 2. So that's printing our artwork. I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back and talk about adding color.